So join us, please, in the pledge, and then we'll have a nice breakfast. Good morning, everybody. I want to thank you for being at Hamilton High School for our military recognition ceremony. On behalf of our superintendent, Mr. Larry Knapp, and our Board of Education, I want to welcome you to Hamilton High School for our annual military recognition ceremony. Today we come to honor students who have accepted the important challenge of defending our nation and serving our country. This is a very important ceremony for our school and our community. To think that over 20 Hamilton High School students have chosen to serve is truly inspiring. I'm so happy to see everyone here today, and thank you again for being here. Hamilton High School is very proud of our tradition of honor and service. I'm glad our students have the opportunity to serve our country. I'm proud of the relationships our students, teachers, counselors, and administrators have with their recruiters, many of whom are here today. They truly make Hamilton High School a better place by providing career guidance and opportunities for all of our students. I particularly want to thank our 7 counselors for the work they do to provide our students opportunities. So if our counselors could please stand up and we can give them a round of applause. They do some great work at Big Blue. To our students and our soldiers, I want to thank you for your commitment. I commend you for your decision. I think it is great. And right now, things are pretty good. But very soon you'll ship off and you might find some difficulties. Would you say that's accurate, Gunnery Sergeant?
I would say that's very accurate.
And there probably should be. Likewise, you will push, you'll test, you'll work hard, but maybe things don't go your way at first. And then you start to beat yourself up and you work harder and you push harder. You might even get frustrated. When this happens, I want to implore you to ask yourself, do you just need some help? You probably will. One of the misconceptions about being a soldier, that it's about creating the invincible, untouchable superhero. That reduces the complexity of who you are, and that's the wrong way to think. Even Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, said, "Don't be ashamed of needing help. You have a duty to fulfill, and as a soldier on the wall of battle. So what if you are injured and can't climb up without another soldier's help?" The art of asking for help is a noble one when you need it, and I hope you have the ability and the strength to do just so. We all need it at some points in our lives. And to the recruiters and the superior officers, I hope your commitment to our students and soldiers continues in the future. It's vital. To our students, I promise you, you will always find a home at Hamilton High School. When you are on leave, I want to see you here, and I want to hear about all the great things that you are doing. In fact, we have 2 former Big Blue grads in attendance today, and it's always nice to hear what they are doing and how they are serving. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our school counselor, Matthew Bradley. Mr. Bradley serves as the military liaison and works extensively with our armed forces. Mr. Bradley.
Good morning. I'd just like to say thank you to all of you for being here, parents and friends of the enlistees especially. In the interest of keeping this ball rolling, I'm going to turn this over to Captain Allison pretty quick. But like I said, thank you for being here from all of us at Hamilton High.
I don't know if this is going to catch me or not, but that's fine. Microphones and we don't get along too well. I think most people can hear me pretty well. Am I doing all right, Gunny? Okay, good. Just real quick, first of all, I too would like to thank the counselors and the administration here. I believe this is a very unique ceremony in a lot of arenas and a lot of schools throughout the country. So I am greatly appreciative that these young people are being recognized, our future service members. I want to say a little bit to Mom and Dad here. I know there's a lot of apprehension of what's going to happen over the next few months, years, etc. They're going to change, but they're still going to be your son or daughter. There's going to be some differences when they come home, and yes, they can make their bed, so I would expect it. If they haven't done so for a while, they can do it. They can pick up after themselves. They can clean up after themselves. But they're still your son and daughter, and we appreciate what you have done to get them to this point. When you look at all this in perspective, we have over 300 million people in this country. It is protected by less than 1% of this people. When you look at the, we hear a lot about the 1%ers and the 99% and all that stuff. 1% of the people in this country protect the other 99% from things that are going to occur, from threats from all over the world, and even from out of the world. Less than 15 million have ever worn this uniform or any uniform similar to this. So truly in the minority. Finally, before I start introducing, you got a great opportunity before you. Don't squander it. Take every opportunity. There's all of these things out there, possibilities for education, possibilities for further training. You're going to meet some wonderful mentors and tutors. Take advantage of everything that they will provide you and everything that will be provided to you. Too many times, and I guarantee today that for all of us who happen to be in uniform, at some point or another, we're going to stop and, my wife asked me this morning why I was making breakfast, and I said, because she knew I was going to be doing something here, and then when she saw the whites, she goes, oh, I know, because I wasn't going to eat it here. Probably at some point I'm going to stop on the way home and get my normal coffee, and someone will stop me, and they'll start this conversation off. I wish I had. It would, and that can be, I wish I had graduated high school. I wish I had gone in the military. I wish I'd stayed in the military. I wish I'd gone to college. I wish I'd finished college. Don't deny yourself the opportunities that are ahead of you. 40 years from now, don't start conversations off with, I wish I had. Go do it. Now now to honor these future enlistees. First, for the representing the United States Army, Staff Sergeant John Lamb.
Good morning, Captain. We must be on the same page this morning because you took about 3 of my talking points away from me before I even got up here. So I'll keep it a little bit more simple because for those of you that know me, I like to talk, and I can talk for a very long time, but I'll follow Mr. Bradley's example. First and foremost, I just want to thank everybody this morning for coming out, but most importantly, thank you to all the enlistees for what you guys are about to do. I can honestly say I think I've talked to every one of you at one point in time over your time here because I'm one of the recruiters that's been around for a couple years. This is my 3rd breakfast, and I love this program. I think it's amazing. But what I can't take away, and this is something that kills me every time, and a lot of people don't realize, when you look at some of the other schools in the school district around southern Ohio and around some of our bordering states and down into Kentucky and out into West Virginia, that's the footprint that the Army covers, at least my organization that I belong to, my greater organization of the Columbus Recruiting Battalion. And we get all these funny reports, right? Because recruiters, we're marketers, we do all of this wonderfulness. But I just wanted to put it out there that Hamilton High School is the #1 producing high school, meaning individuals that attended Hamilton High School as their last high school or graduated from Hamilton has more enlistments in the United States Army than any other high school across all of southwestern Ohio, West Virginia, and northeastern Kentucky. So I think that deserves a big round of applause. Because it speaks to the testament of the people of Hamilton, that we have individuals that are ready to stand up and be part of that less than 1% compared to most of the other individuals in the surrounding areas. So that's something that I take incredible pride of being here and being a part of that process, but more importantly of the people here in Hamilton and what they offer. But it's not about all that. This morning it's about the individuals. So I'm going to start off with Zachary Doucette. Come on up. What's your job again? Why don't you tell everybody your job?
My job is a 91 Bravo, wheeled vehicle mechanic.
So Zach came up to me. He's our one Army reservist, which is why I'm bringing him up separate. So he's in the Army Reserve, which means he will be going off to basic training this summer to become a 91 Bravo wheeled vehicle mechanic, and then returning to the Trenton area so he can go take the military training he gets this summer and apply it to his education at Sinclair in the fall, taking advantage of some of the wonderful opportunities Hamilton provides through the CTE. So this is a testament that not all of them are going to pick up leave and you're never going to see them again except for when they come home on leave, but we do have individuals that are going and coming right back. Zach has a 6-year commitment to the United States Army Reserve and has already been spending the last year or so attending drill 1 week and a month and 2 weeks out of the year. So Zach, we just want to thank you for your service. Jacob Cornett. Yeah, you can stay up here for a second. Jacob Cornett enlisted as a junior in high school last year. Right at the end of his junior year, he's going to be a 25 November Nodal Network Systems Specialist, meaning that whenever somebody needs to talk in the Army or speak with somebody else, his fingers will be on the button saying who can talk to who and who can't talk to who. So he's going to be everybody's best friend, especially when they want the internet. Okay. Shannon Gudgel. 13 Fox, right? Yes. So Shannon is a 13 Fox. What's your fancy title?
Fire support specialist.
Fire support specialist. So we all need things that go boom, right? All branches, we like to blow stuff up. It's a lot of fun. Shannon's there to make sure that when the team that's making all the big booms happen have everything that they need to be successful in their mission. From the distancing to the ranging, to understanding where the rounds are going to end up. That's going to be his bread and butter, and we're really excited to have him on the team. And last but not least, Jeremy Workman. Where's he hiding at? Jeremy's been in the carpentry CTE his entire program here at Hamilton, and now he's going to branch out, and he actually took it, it's 12 kilo, so 12K, and he's going to be an interior plumber for the United States Army. So he's going to get the opportunity to work alongside the Army Corps of Engineers and do a lot of different opportunities to expand on the skills that he's already learned here at Hamilton. And honorable mention, too, who's not able to join us this morning, but Olivia Macias is also a senior here at Hamilton High School, and she's joined the Army as a 92 Golf, one of the most important positions in the Army because that is a fueler. And if anybody knows anything, we like to use up a lot of fuel to get stuff from point A to point B. And without individuals like Ms. Macias, we won't be able to get the mission done because we can't get from point A to point B. So I just wanted to thank each one of you guys individually and bring you up so people understand what you're getting into. And thank you all for your support.
I'll second Staff Sergeant Lamb's comment about amount of fuel the Army uses. I did a project at the Naval War College many years ago, and I think most of us went aghast when we found out that a division in the Army uses 500 tons of fuel a day. Anytime when you measure fuel in tons, it's a lot. Next, for the United States Marine Corps, Sergeant James Hughes.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you all for coming out. First off, I'd like to thank the principal, Mr. Willem, the counselors and the staff for being so open and welcoming to all the armed forces and just letting us be around. Secondly, I'd like to thank the parents for supporting their children in this huge decision in their lives. And then I'd like to thank the enlistees for joining the United States Marine Corps. Carlos Barrera. Aiden Bullard. Charles Ferris. Gage Mann. Brooke Frederick. And Josephine McQuinn. These ladies and gentlemen are about to embark on a 13-week journey to become a United States Marine. It's a huge accomplishment, and I'd like to join you in a round of applause for these fine young women and gentlemen. That's it. Thank you all for coming out.
The world had this funny way of going round and round. Several years ago, I walked in this job. It was a Wednesday. It was the 25th of March, that was my first day here. Talked to Gunnery Sergeant, and he explained to me that we had this computer system. I hate computers. I hate paperwork. I'm a sailor. And he said, we got to put all this data in there. And I go, how do I do it? He goes, oh no, we got this kid who can do this. This little chubby kid. So over the years, he's become taller and thin. I've become old and fat. So without further ado, that former chubby kid who taught me how to use the computer, Navy Counselor First Class, Jesse Johnson. Never thought I'd say those things in consecutive. Should I tell him what Gunny's nickname was for you?
I don't think that'll be necessary, sir.
For $5 a piece, I'll tell you after this thing.
Thank you, Captain, for such a kind introduction. Thank you all for having me here today. I'm filling in for the usual recruiter, Ian Tu Elliott. His wife is having a baby, so he couldn't make it today. But it is an honor to be here nonetheless. We have 5 young people here today that are joining the Navy, and I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. We need you out there, and thank you to the families, because your support is going to be what gets them through the tough times. And we know it's not easy for you too. You know, they're graduating high school, growing up, moving out. So we want to thank you as well for all the support that you're going to give them. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce the Navy enlistees. Michael Bauer, come on up. Kevin Lacer. Jordan Parsons. Joseph Walden. And Jeremy Workman. I'm sorry? Noel Mays. Sorry. Last but not least. So congratulations to you all. You're about to start your journey. You're going to get to go to some amazing places, travel the world, have some opportunities and experiences that nobody else in this room have ever had. So thank you and congratulations.
Normally I'd smack him someplace else. But we're on TV, so I. Finally, from representing the United States Air Force is Technical Sergeant Jason Hamrick.
All right, morning, folks. My name's Sergeant Hamrick from the Air Force Coleraine office. I got one guy up here, Bradley Stone, if you want to make your way up here. As any of the veterans can stand by. All right, as any of the veterans can attest, the decision to serve is really a serious and a difficult decision to make. The guy up here, he's made the decision to leave his family and friends and join an elite group of people that make up less than 1/10% of the American population. Because of his decision, he's going to be receiving an opportunity to travel the world, see things that he never would have seen otherwise. He's going to have the opportunity to go to college for free, and he'll have the opportunity to start his adult life with the Air Force core values of integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. So enlisting in the Air Force here is Bradley Stone, who's going in this September to become an electronics specialist on some of the most advanced fighter jets the world has ever seen. So with that.
And now I'd like to introduce our guest speaker. Our guest speaker today is Captain Garrett Vick. Captain Vick received a bachelor's degree in industrial engineering from Texas Tech University. He attended Officer Candidate School as part of the platoon leader's course during his senior year in 2008. Does that make you feel, hold up, don't come, does that make you feel old? 2008, he's now the guest speaker that I'm introducing, okay? Wow. Upon completing Officer Candidate School, he returned to Texas Tech University to complete his degree and was commissioned in March 2009. He reported to the basic school as a member of the 4th Platoon Echo Company 0509. Following the basic school, he attended introductory flight screening in Manassas, Virginia, and reported to aviation pre-flight in 2010. Upon checking into Marine Aviation Training Squadron Support Group in Pensacola, Florida, Captain Vick was assigned to Aviation Maintenance Squadron 1 as platoon commander and division officer in charge from June 2010 to August 2010. Captain Vick completed aviation pre-flight in October 10 and checked into Marine Aviation Training Support Group 21, VT-27 in Corpus Christi, Texas, for primary flight training where he flew T-34 Charlies. Upon graduating primary, he selected rotary wing aviation and checked into HT-27 in Milton, Florida for advanced helicopter training where he flew the TH-57 Bravo and Charlie. Captain Vick put on what we call his Wings of Gold in February of 2012 and selected UH-1 Hueys for flying on the West Coast. And he was placed on the Commodore's list by distinguishing himself for academic and flight performance. Captain Vick graduated SEER Level C training in Kittery, Maine in April 2012 and checked into the Replacement Air Group Squadron HMLAT 301 in May 2012, where he trained to fly the UH-1 Yankee. Upon graduation in December, Captain Vick checked into Helicopter Marine Light Attack Squadron 267, the Stingers, where he served as an aviator and operations daily schedule writer. Captain Vick was assigned as an individual augmentee to the 13th Marine Expeditionary Unit as Information Management Officer and was awarded the Navy Commendation Medal for operations in support of Westpac 1301 from March 2013 to March 2014. He returned to HMLA 267, where he assumed duties as Communications Department Head. In August 2015, Captain Vick augmented to Marine Medium Tri-Rotor Squadron, VMM 166, to serve as UH-1 Yankee Aircraft Commander, Functional Check Pilot, and Administrative Department Head, where he earned the Navy and Marine Corps Achievement Medal in support of the 13th Marine Expeditionary Unit, Westpac 1601. Westpac 1601 served in support of anti-insurgency operations Restore Hope and Inherent Resolve. Upon return, Captain Vick was assigned to HMLA 469 Vengeance in Camp Pendleton, California, and served as a UH-1 Yankee aviator and functional check pilot in support of squadron operations until April 2017. Captain Vick currently serves as the Marine Officer Instructor and Assistant Professor of Naval Science at Miami University's Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Captain Garrett Vick. One day you never learn all the acronyms.
Thanks, sir. Well done. I have to give you the bridge version next time.
Did it all in one breath, I think.
All right, thank you for letting me be here today. It is a true humbling honor to be here. Sir, Principal Wilhelm, thank you for putting this on. This isn't something that needs to be done. However, it is a testament of the dedication that you have to these service members in this wonderful nation, so thank you. So it's a sober reality, serving next to those that are willing to give their life. Stand there next to them and have them stand next to you, united under a cause greater than self, willing to answer the call, willing to pay the ultimate price. They join a long lineage of military history from the militiamen in the early days, whereas Captain Allison alluded to earlier, less than 0.5% that wear this nation's cloth, or the 15 million that he alluded to. If you're doing the math like I was, less than 7.5% that have ever put on this uniform. So thank you for your dedication in being here this morning, willing to raise your right hand, swearing an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. This long lineage of military history goes back to those that fought at Lexington, Concord, to free a nation that they could only imagine, and those that fought on the fields of Gettysburg to unite a nation that was divided. You join the ranks of those that fought on the beaches of Europe and across the Pacific Islands, jungles of Vietnam, the frozen reservoirs of Korea, across the Middle East, all because they had a love for country and a zeal for life. And it's not just about the combat operations. It's about that zeal for life part, the humanitarian assistance, the disaster relief, helping out in Haiti, disaster relief in the Philippines, handing out those bottles of water, dedicated to a service and a cause greater than self and the dignity of life itself. 16 years, 234 days ago, we were attacked within our own borders. It's an evil, malicious attack without a formal declaration of war against civilians. I remember that morning, turning on the news, being in a similar situation of where you're at today, going to school, and over the next couple days, watching as a world mourned with us, but waited with great anticipation to see what our response would be. What they witnessed was that this act intended for division resulted in the strongest unity of this nation that I had ever witnessed. Strongest unity since what I would imagine the attacks of Pearl Harbor, when the Japanese conducted the kamikaze raids, Pearl Harbor, with the intent to take us out of the fight permanently, make the cost too great. But what they saw was a nation that came together to unleash an industrial capacity that the world had never seen and never even knew that was possible. The same day after 9/11, they saw an act intended for division resulted in unity, and we've been taking a fight to every time and place ever since. We've had successes along the way. In fact, there hasn't been an outside attack in the last 16 years, 234 days since. Many successes. We've also stumbled a few times. But as Abraham Lincoln would say, the probability that we might fall in the struggle ought not deter us from a cause in which we believe to be just. And while others may sit back in the comfort of home, blustering about their abilities to debate the operations afar, I tip my hat and thank God that there are men and women like you here this morning willing to answer the cause. So as Theodore Roosevelt would say, it's not the critic who counts. It's not the one that can point out where the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. Because the credit belongs to the man that's actually in the arena, whose face is marred by the dust, the sweat, and the blood, who errs, comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds. Credit belongs to you this morning, making the decision to serve your country with the love of country and a zeal for life. Now, lastly, what is a Marine doing here if not to challenge you? So here's my challenge to you this morning. Develop your character. Who are you? And I don't mean who are you in the sense of once you graduate boot camp, you're wearing that uniform, you look at yourself, the picture of you in that uniform looking sharp. I mean, who are you really? When you go home at night, you look yourself in the mirror. Strip yourself of the veneer of measuring yourself by the intent that you had that day. Measure yourself by your actions. Because you'll be tested at boot camp with physical courage, mental courage, but I want to talk to you about something else, and that's a moral courage. And it's something that's only tested a couple times in your life. In order to have the moral courage to make the right decision at the right time, it's a development of your character. It's about the decisions you make every single day, the seemingly insignificant decisions. What time you decide to get up, whether you make your bed, what clothes you decide you wear, what you decide to eat for breakfast that morning. See, a Latin derivative of the word decision literally means to cut off. And once you cut off all other alternatives, you become the product of the resultant. So in those small micro decisions every single day, you become the product of your decisions. That will develop your moral character. And all these decisions you make throughout the day, they're not a test of moral character. Certainly not a test of moral courage, judgment, maybe. But the test of moral character can only come when the stakes are high. The chips are stacked against you. You have that wrenching in your gut. Your heart starts beating through the chest, sweat dripping from your brow. And you know that the decision that you are about to make won't be popular. Still, you must make it. And that test of moral courage and whether or not you make the right decision at that time will depend on your character, and your character derived of the small decisions you make every single day. So start today with the small decisions, one piece at a time, so that when your time comes and the chips are stacked against you and the stakes are high, you have the moral courage to make the right decision. Lastly, thank you for the decision that you made to be here this morning. Family, friends, principal, thank you for the support. It's not lost on me that there are generations of service members before us that didn't enjoy the luxury of the support that you give today. 16 years, 234 days later, and it's still going strong. So thank you for that. And with the love of country and the zeal for life, Semper Fidelis, God bless the USA.
Last year we had a C2 pilot as our speaker, and I said, and I can't tell you why, and he probably would never tell you why. Actually, I can tell you why, but again, $5. But C2 pilots are the happiest people on the face of the earth. We all know why C2 pilots are the happiest pilots on the face of the earth, right? Because anybody who graduated after them in flight school aren't flying. Okay, so now, if you're flying UH-1s, you got to love to fly, because that's probably the only plane that we're flying now that a pilot's really flying the plane these days. So you really got to love to fly a Huey. That's great. So a Cobra. Anyway, so with that being said, been doing this for a few years now, and kind of my favorite part is what I get to experience 7 hours a day for the last several years. And so now, best part of my day is I'm going to extend it to you. So, Gunnery Sergeant McAllister, floor is yours.
Well, good morning. I really don't like podiums, so I'm just kind of like walk around and look at you and talk to you and things like that. Some really good messages. I was telling the captain back there that I almost felt like I needed to re-enlist. That was a really good message. And you kids that are getting ready to serve should really take that in, soak it in, listen to it, absorb it, and react to it. And think about those things. Somebody in your life has always said something that's going to stick with you for a long time. And I believe that was a pretty strong message, because there are a lot of people out there that do not know how to, when you're being confronted with a challenge, you don't know how to make a good decision, whether it's popular or unpopular. And you just do it without thinking about it, or you don't do it. I want to talk to you about boot camp and what it's going to be like for you when you leave here. First of all, if you got a phone in front of you, give it to a loved one beside you. You are no longer going to have a phone. For those of you that like to do all your messages on the phones and on the computers and things like that, you're going to have to actually put a pencil or an ink stick in your hand and write a letter. Okay? And your parents and your family want to hear from you. You need to write to them. If you're going to expect them to write to you, well, then you better write to them. Okay? You need to do that for your own good. You need that communication, because it wasn't from your families and your parents and grandparents and so forth, or whoever your strength is. If you don't hear from them, there's a part of you that's gonna, maybe not be as good as you could be in that environment. You need that support, okay? And they need yours. They need to know that you're okay. Okay, that gives them strength throughout the day instead of worrying about you all day long, all night long. Okay? So everybody needs to write letters. Okay? So do that, please. You're going to find out that you're going to need that, and that might get you through a really tough day. When you get there, you're going to be stripped. You're going to be stripped of all the things that you like to wear, the T-shirts, the shoulderless T-shirt, where you cut them off, and the way you walk is going to be fixed. Some of you that need belts, well, you're going to be issued one. You're also going to get a haircut. You're going to have to shave every single day. That Bullard? Okay. And you're going to meet a wall of authority that you're not always going to agree with. But you're going to agree with it, or you're going to have a bad day. Okay? If you think quitting is an option, it's not. Because they're not going to let you quit. You could say I quit, and you could disagree and start mumbling and grumbling, but you're going to end up in a sand pit. Okay? And they're going to get you. They're going to reach your inner sides. They're going to reach you. They're going to talk to you. They're going to scream at you. In fact, you're going to scream back. Because if you don't scream back, you're going to be in the sand again. Because in our business, instant obedience to orders as quick as you can, it's a must. Okay? It's not like turn in homework. Okay? When they say it's time to go, it's time to go. Like right now. Okay? Right, Bullard?
I turned in his uniforms last week. He's got them there with him.
I was talking about getting to the word homework. The homework part. Okay? Well, can I turn it in Wednesday, Captain? Well, it was due Friday. People die in our business for making, delayed reaction decisions. Okay? You will ask to drink water. You will ask to use the restroom, the head, that is. You will ask to even speak in our business, in your business, soon to be business. Okay? You will be told how to put your left foot, your left shoe on, your left boot, right boot, how to put your trousers on. They're going to change the way you think. They're going to make you and groom you to be a human machine of destruction. Okay? At least that's what you think, anyways. Actually, they're changing your mannerisms. They're changing the way you think. They're trying to make you more responsible. And think about the things that you do. Okay? Go on there and work hard. That's all they can ask. Okay? You're going to have a moment that first day where I didn't sign up for this crap. If I want to get yelled at, I just go talk to my girlfriend or my parents or whatever. Okay? Well, you're not going to be able to call either one of them. Okay? So don't even. That's going out the window. You're just going to continuously get yelled at, no matter what. Whether it's right or wrong, indifferent, you're wrong. Okay? And you're going to continue to get yelled at and pushed. And you're going to want to quit. And you're going to be talking in the moments when you're in the restrooms in the morning shaving. I knew I shouldn't have done this. This is a bunch of crap. Okay? Do not quit. Please. Do not quit. You are going to be pushed to the limits. But if you want to find out how good of a woman you are, how big of a man you are, well, then you stay put. And you work through it. Because you are going to be pushed. You're going to be hurt. You're going to sweat more than you ever sweated before. You're gonna get scrapes on your elbows. Okay, you're gonna bleed. Those of you that have pugil sticks, okay, at least in our world, you know, maybe man, okay, or Ferris or Bauer, who says they might, I've never lost a fight. Okay, I'm 10-0. Well, when you get in there with the pugil sticks and the boxing gloves, you're gonna get beat up. Okay? You're gonna get beat up. And you're gonna get hit, you're gonna get punched. And you're gonna have to fight. Okay? Man, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, but they have to reach so low to hit them.
But you know what? There is no doubt in my mind that all these kids in this room right today is going to do really well in boot camp. They are. That culture shock is going to shock them. That little birdie on the shoulder, namely their parents, their grandfather, somebody is on that shoulder saying, no you're not. Get back in there. Enjoy the food at boot camp. Enjoy the life that you're pursuing. That is serving. Okay? Serving. You are serving yourself. You are serving your family. You are serving the people that can't serve, that wish they could. The civilian life is just as tough. So if you think you're going to get out, oh, I'll just get out, I can find me a job. Then you're going to be one of them people that the captain's talking about. I wish I should have, could have. You don't meet them all the time. It works out for a lot of them, but for a lot of them it does not. Okay? You're going to have people in your face, and I mean in your grill. It's not that they don't like you. It's because we need you. We don't want to go on a picnic with you. Okay? We want to go shoulder to shoulder and maybe, possibly, help defend. And I want to rely on each and every one of you. Okay? With that being said, these kids that are in this room that are been around for 4 years, ROTC-wise, and I couldn't be more proud of these guys. We don't always see the light, but I never promised them a cookie either. Okay? Always demanded the same each and every day. But we also believe in the human element and try to help them through some things. They still got a lot to learn, right, Ferris? Yes, sir. But we're awfully proud of you guys in the ROTC. In fact, all the students that got up for the Army, I believe, were all former ROTC students. Thank you as well. Here's what I say to you now, and it's in closing. I wish the very best to all of you young people. Write your girlfriends, write your moms. They will worry about you. Okay? Life is not over in boot camp after one bad day. If it's a bad day, that means it was a terrific day. Because it worked. And it's working. It's pushing. I remember going to MEPS and asking who your next of kin is. Remember that? That's a little bit of an eye-opener, wasn't it? Do your part. We did. I was right there where you sat at one time. All these guys over here was there as well. Okay? We had to start at the rock bottom. That's just how it happens. Make good decisions. Stay away from the people in boot camp that want to quit. Be a leader in boot camp. Be the person that people lean on you instead. I wish I could do it all over again. When I was 39, I retired out of the military after 20 years active duty Marine Corps. And was a former drill instructor at Paris Island. I remember sitting down in my bedroom at 39, emptying out my seat bag and saying, what the heck am I gonna do with all this? I didn't think 39-year-olds cried. I love the Marine Corps, I love to serve, and I respect all those that serve in all branches. And the glory of God, 2 years later, this school, and thankfully for all the principals and Mr. Wilhelm, I'm able to be here and continue wearing my uniform. I hope and pray that you respect the same and enjoy wearing your uniform that you're about to wear. It's gonna be a little dirty in the beginning, but you'll wear one. Do not quit in boot camp. Don't do it. The consequences are too great. With that, thank you, Mr. Wilhelm and Mr. Bradley, for allowing me to speak at the end. They wish me to convey to you that there's lots of chow up here. Please eat it, all of it. I wish you all the very best.